Hi, Todd Pipes here from Deep Blue Something with another edition, Deep Cuts, Deep Blue Something. Today's song is called Rock Island Line. Rock Island Line was a last-minute addition to the Lunar Phase album and might not have even made the record at all if it hadn't been for the insistence from John Kirtland and Kirk Tatum. Here I am from another location to tell you more words about it. Okay, Rock Island Line. So we were doing rehearsals for the songs that were going to be on Lunar Phase, and I was feeling really iffy about this one particular song. I liked it, but I didn't feel like it fit with the rest of the songs. And so I was kind of pondering what to do. And I was listening to a playlist. I can't even remember what the band was, but they were doing this weird progression. And they kept going to a weird chord, and I didn't like the weird chord that they were going to. Why don't they just go on down to this other one? And I kept going, well, why do I want it to go to this other chord? And I couldn't figure out why I was so attracted to this 4-chord pattern that they weren't using. So I went home and I got out my guitar and I put it in a different key and moved it down to kind of an E thing. And I wrote this song. I had just been driving through Dallas and I had seen a train trestle and it said Rock Island Line on it. And I went home and looked up what Rock Island Lines was because I was used to, Great Western Railroad and Santa Fe and all these other ones, but Rock Island, I wasn't familiar with that train line. So I learned a little bit about that. Anyway, so I wrote this song about this guy who wakes up and he's on his way to heaven. And so, yes, it is another Deep Blue Something song that's about death. And I don't know why we do that, but we do. So he's on this train to heaven, and he's looking around, and there's all these empty seats, and he can't figure out, where everybody is. There's lots of names on the seats, but the seats are empty and all that. And so it's just kind of about, making these decisions that will impact your life and all that kind of stuff. And I liked the way the lyric kind of turned out. So I sent a demo very quickly to the guys because I thought, well, maybe there's a chance this one could take the place of that other one that I didn't feel like was fitting so much. And Kirk texted back right away, oh, I like this song, I like this. And then John actually sent a video of him playing the drums to this demo that I had made. Because we were about to start recording drums. And so John comes in the first day and I'm like, well, what do you want to start with? And he's like, oh, let's start with Rock Island Line. And I was like, Johnny K, I don't know that it's even, finished yet. He's like, no, it's great. We got to do this song. Let's do it first. I said, well, let's do the other ones. And maybe we'll do this later today, because we had like 2 days set aside for drums. And so we finished the drums for that day, and we come in the next day. Oh, what do you want to start with? Oh, let's start with Rock Island Line. So again, I had to push him off, and so we did all of the other drum tracks for the songs that we had already approved. And I said, okay, let's do Rock Island Line. So, like I say, he had already done all the other drums tracks, so his headphones everything was dialed in. So I just pulled up the demo, with the metronome, and he just launched into this song, and it was perfect. And so what you hear on the record is, he didn't even run through it. That's the take. He just played it, and I got a decent amount of it on video. And when we went back, I think he wanted to fix one small thing in the bridge. That's at least what I remember, that he thought he could play this one part a little bit better. But yeah, most of what you hear on the record is his very first playthrough of Rock Island Line, which I thought was just fantastic. And then the next day, Toby and Kirk and I, we were supposed to do this acoustic performance, and we don't play acoustic a lot, so we got together to run through and figure out what we were going to do. And Kirk said, hey, I think I got an idea for the bridge of Rock Island Line. Kirk's chords lifted the song up, whereas my chords kind of made the song even a little bit darker. And so he was like, I think this will work. So he had just edited in this new bridge idea on the demo. And as soon as it went to the first chord, I was like, yep, your bridge is way better. And so then I went back and made sure that the new bridge still fit with the accents that John had done, and everything was fine. The new bridge, it was the same length of time and all that kind of thing. So I was really thankful for that. And then we just started putting things on top of it, and we had this sort of extended solo section. And the one thing that none of it, it's sort of a bluesy based song in a way, and we didn't want rip and rock guitar solo. So we all agreed on that. And so there was this tendency to turn it into, something like that. So Kirk had come up with this idea for the first half of the solo, and then I was like, well, then I'll do a piano thing on the second part. And so that's how that ended up that way. But yeah, it was really weird going back, and I finally, once the song was completely finished, I figured out why I kept wanting the chord progression to go. Because when I was a kid, there was this really, really big song by Herb Alpert and his Tijuana Brass. And the main riff of that song follows a very similar chord. It's in a different key. It follows the same chord progression. And I'll give you bonus points if you can figure out what song it is. But they share the same four chord pattern in the one thing. But it took me forever to figure out why do I want it to change to that. So there you go, Rock Island Line. All right, you ready, JK? Oh, okay.